Well, it's Good News Story Day. This is a good news story for everyone. And the lady we met on the panel 2 weeks ago, Michelle Rowland, is the federal Labor member for Greenway, which is out Parramatta Way in New South Wales. She says she's transformed her life by nearly halving her weight. She said so honestly, she weighed more than 100 kgs and she was struggling with the demands of a political career while being a mum to 2 young girls. She said she felt unwell and run down, so she decided to do something about it. Now, forget the politics. This has the potential to inspire thousands of Australians. So I asked her to join us again. Now, Michelle, I have to say to you, good evening to you. My God, hello. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Alan.
Which half of you did you bring along tonight?
The good half.
Good half. I've got to say to you, you were very impressive last time, and this is more than impressive. But to my viewers, can I say, before we get to this, Michelle has done amazingly well academically. This lady was born in Blacktown. Her mother, Fijian. She's not a dual citizen. She went to Sydney University, a Bachelor of Arts with honours, then an LLB, and then a Master of Laws, and a lawyer with Gilbert and Tobin. Michelle, you seem to have done well everywhere, and now this. How long did all this take?
This took around, it was a long journey, Alan, around 5 years. And in that time, I had my second child. I faced 2 elections. I went into the shadow cabinet. And it was a long period of time, but I think I've reached the point where I felt comfortable to talk to Annika Smethurst about my story. And I just want to make it clear that if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Brilliant, brilliant. From 100 kgs to, 60? You worked with your GP and your dietitian. You said you wanted to be fit at 50, and you didn't do it. I love this. You said, I didn't do it for anyone, I just did it for myself. Now, has this all been done through diet and exercise?
This is diet and exercise, Alan, and some really tough times working with my personal trainer, Daniel, but also with the support of many colleagues and family and friends. So it's been a real team effort, but in essence, it took 3 ingredients. It took time, it took willpower, and it took consistency. And it actually, now that I look at it in retrospect, it is a pretty significant achievement. And one of the reasons I decided to tell my story was because, as I said, all around Western Sydney, there's people who get up before dawn like I do, get the kids ready for school. In normal circumstances, we'll do the long commute to work and do it all again in the evening.
And what's your advice? What's your advice about eating? Just a quick one on eating.
I think you have to look at the fact that not all calories are the same. You can decide to fill your plate with empty calories, with convenience, but it does, again, take time in order to plan your day and to ensure that you're getting the nutrients that you need. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable.
Now, Michelle, before we go, I've got to say one thing. Now, listen, I'm a hard marker. You are very impressive. Now, Bob Hawke gave up grog in order to become the leader of the ALP. Has Michelle Rowland given up the weight in order to become the leader of the ALP? And if not, why not?
No, I've taken the course I have because I wanted to be a better version of myself, Alan. And I figured that if I take the time to tell my story, I think at this time people are looking for hope in a number of different places. But I'm not special, Alan. So, you know, as I said, if I can do it, anyone can.
Good on you, Michelle. Lovely to talk to you, and I hope we can talk again. You're a most impressive lady. There she is, Michelle Rowland, who's the federal Labor member for the seat of Greenway, which is out in Western Sydney, because we try to bring you a few good stories every Thursday night. Heaven knows we need them. People are sick to death of being frightened and sick of bad news. Well, if you've got a good news story you'd like to tell us about, just email goodnews@skynews.com.au. There you are, goodnews@skynews.com.au. If you get out and about, perhaps to music festivals or carnivals or big sporting events, the races, chances are you've seen St John's Ambulance volunteers. These people give up their time to help others. They care for people who've had too much sun, too much to drink, have taken a fall. I think they are unsung heroes. And in the wake of the so-called pandemic, they've been asked to provide medical and logistical support at COVID-19 temperature screening clinics and quarantine hotels. Almost 500 St John Ambulance members have provided almost 10,000 hours of support at 52 sites across New South Wales, ranging from Sydney CBD to some of the most regional communities. I've asked the service's CEO, Sarah Lance, to join us, and Sarah's brought along one of the volunteers, Dana Williams. They're in our Sydney studios. Sarah, I'll start with you. Where did the St John's Ambulance begin, and what is a brief history of that?
Oh, can I also say, Alan, what a lovely introduction. You're quite right, they're the unsung heroes. So St John has 135 years history in New South Wales alone. As you know, we're throughout Australia, throughout every state and territory, but we actually are our founding fathers, I suppose, are from the UK, and in fact, within the hierarchy of the Priory, the Queen is the head of St John Ambulance.
Why not? Now, Dana, to you, Dana, why did you get involved?
I'm a student nurse, and I think it was, at the time, a good opportunity for me to give back to the community as well as, you know, gain more skills and put my skills to practice. So, yeah, it's been a really good opportunity
what sort of reception?
for me.
What sort of reception do you get at events? I mean, are people usually welcome? Do they make you welcome? Are they grateful?
Yeah, so many people. They're so nice. We always get thanked on duties, events. Yeah, really nice people.
Sarah, why do you think people stick their hand up to join the organisation? I suppose we should tell our viewers out there, are these people paid?
Oh, so we've got paid and volunteers within all of our groups. But
and people like Dana's a volunteer.
Oh, an amazing 3,500 volunteers.
Fantastic.
Across 70 divisions across New South Wales. And what's really surprising is that they're amazing people like Dana, often studying at university. They've come through our cadet programs and they want to succeed. And
are you looking for recruits?
Oh, absolutely. Always looking for recruits.
So, Sarah, Dana, so supposing, if you're volunteering at the AFL Grand Final, at least you're at the AFL Grand Final, but do you see anything or are you constantly working?
Constantly working. There's always something to do.
How wonderful. And you meet lovely people, I suppose, and you're doing it for nothing, just to give to the community.
Yeah.
Goodness me. And Sarah, the training, is there much training in this?
Yeah, there's an enormous amount of training and they're constantly upskilling within mental health, within mass casualty events. But all of our volunteers meet at divisions every single week to train. And if you think about the work that they're doing across COVID now, as you said, at the hotels and in the hotspots, also at transport hubs, doing temperature screening, helping, supporting, making people, that whole community feel safe.
Wonderful.
And they're giving up their weekends, they're giving up their evenings to do it.
Wonderful. Well, now listen, I want to say to both of you, Sarah and Dana, there's an old saying, volunteers don't necessarily have the time, they just have the heart.
Yes.
Thank you to both of you. We're immensely grateful. There we are, Dana.
Lovely.
St John's Ambulance, aren't they wonderful people?